Yo YouTube, what's happening? Today is Sunday and it is the end of the weekend, and I am starting to think going out and drinking is getting harder and harder. No, you should still go out and enjoy yourselves. However, do remember that alcohol is a depressant, and the next day you can just feel really lethargic, really unmotivated and really uninspired to do anything, which is how I feel today. Yeah, so I still got up early, but I just had a lazy day. I've slept a couple of hours during the day, and I've done nothing really apart from watch Titans, which is on Netflix, which if you haven't watched, I recommend it because again, it's a pretty badass show, which is just basically the DC Teen Titans, but on a much darker scale. So go check it out if you haven't already. So yeah, I mentioned yesterday that I wanted to talk a bit about bullying. Now, this was kind of brought on for a couple of reasons. One, because I was actually speaking to a parent at the club that I work at about their child and how they've been bullied at school. And also randomly, I just happened to kind of, not stumble, but revisit a reality TV episode that I did a few years ago, and yeah, it's funny that people are still watching it even though it's all those years ago. And I was just reading all the comments, and you know, there's a lot of positive comments about me on there, but at the same time there's so much hate as well, and it's fine because like I can deal with it. Like, I'm a big guy, big kid, adult, that's the word, and yeah, I'm used to it. So for me it's fine, but I just wanted to talk about how it can kind of affect people. Me, I was bullied a lot through school, which can be a shock to a lot of people because, you know, being someone who used to be kind of in, you know, play a lot of the first team sports there, used to be in the highest sets for all the classes, and used to get on with everyone. You know, it was a very hard time for me, and for whatever reason I could never work out. People used to bully me, and it was like one of the worst experiences. As much as I loved school and I've had the most amazing friends and memories from it, I've also, they know, well, some of them know that it was also like one of the hardest times for me. I used to come home as a kid in tears and not want to go back to school. Tried to run away from home a couple of times as well, and it's, you know, wanted to move schools. And I think, you know, if you imagine you're in a confined area with however many hundreds of kids, you know, now we have social media, and that opens the door to millions of people, and you know, it's understanding and kind of trying to get a better insight into why people bully. And you know, usually those who bully are people who have been bullied, and you got to understand that these people weren't born that way, that it's kind of, you know, they've gone through things that you probably have no idea about, you know, what goes on behind closed doors, and that's kind of caused them to bully. And we're in a day and age where, you know, online bullying is such a big thing, and it's you know, unfortunately pushing young kids and adults to the point where they take their lives because it's just that bad. And so, you know, there's two things that you gotta remember, and that's whenever you put a picture or a video or whatever you might put out there on social media, you know, there's people out there who will either be jealous, you know, try and have intent, or you know, they might just be going through a rough day, and you know, that's the first thing they see, and they have you know, they see a representation of a life they want to live, and you know, or they just don't like what they're seeing, and they find that as fuel to start a fire or start a negative chat. And either way, the other side of it is you don't know what that person's going through. In my experience, you know, a lot of these people who end up as bullies, they do it because, you know, they've either been abused by their parents or abused by other people or gone through bullying themselves. And you know, that's their way of then taking it out on other people. Like me, I was a real angry child. I think that comes from, you know, I love my parents, I love them to pieces. However, yeah, they were just super busy all the time. They were just out, you know, trying to make a living and keep a roof over our heads, and I don't hate them at all for that. However, we used to have a nanny who used to live in and look after us as we were growing up, and that meant I didn't really get much time with my parents because they would get home late and get up early to work. That's life. And would I change it? I mean, no, because they gave us an amazing childhood, but would I change it in the sense of having them around more? Yeah, because it means I would have had that relationship with them, which would probably be a lot deeper now. But not having that, not having someone to grow up and express emotion to, made me very angry. My only way to get their attention was to either, unfortunately, beat up my brothers or trash the house or get myself in trouble at school or whatever it might be to be noticed. And it's sad that people have to go to those extremes to do it. And in social media we are swarmed with so much fakeness. Coming from someone who is a creative, I love editing photos, I love trying to create something that's amazing for you guys to see, especially on things like Instagram, and so many other people love it as well because it's art, and art's cool, and we want to make something look amazing. However, that can affect people in such a negative way, and then people will hate on you because of it, and they'll bully people because they feel it's not a real representation of the world, which is fair enough to an extent, but we've got to remember that words can hurt, words can go and cut a lot deeper than anything else. And before, regardless of what you see, if there is something that you're not happy with, even if it's someone's commenting on their own views on a particular subject, or if they're expressing their religion or their opinion, before you write a negative comment, just remember there is someone there, and you don't know what they're going through. They might have just done it at the heat of the moment. It might have just been, they've had a bad day and they've just, commented or put up a post about it, and it's caused, a bit of a stir, and that's when you need to almost take a step back and take the high road and not kind of, write something negative, because you don't know how that comment or whatever you do will impact that person. And as I said earlier, I'm quite lucky in the sense of I'm not used to it, because it makes it sound like I get a lot of hate, and I'm, I don't, but I can see it from their point of view. People are normally jealous, and that's why they hate, and that's why they bully, and they just feel their life isn't the same as ours, and it's easy to see and to feel that way as well. And just if you are someone who is a bully, I just kind of question what your motives are. It's not okay to do it, and it can affect people in such a negative way. And to the extent where more and more are coming out on social media about how their children, how their sons and daughters are taking their lives because of the extent of online bullying. And so I just if you are someone, as I said, who does bully, I do prompt you to reevaluate everything you do, because it's getting extreme, especially in a world, as I said earlier, where we can connect with anyone in the world. You really, it's something we have to try and tackle more. And as I said, if you are someone who is bullied, just understand that it's really hard. You should probably speak to them, because they probably don't mean it. It's they have no idea what's going on in their lives, and for me, people who hate, you just got to love them as much as you would anyone else, because they're probably going through a tough time, and they probably have reasons for making them feel how they feel. And then I guess on the flip side, if you are someone who is being bullied, I know how it feels. It sucks. I've had my face smashed in on a rail in a bus. I've had a tripod, so when you do science, tripod, I've had someone heat that up and stick it into the side of my face. And it sucks. I know how it feels to feel like there's something wrong with you, because people just, I have no idea to describe them, but those people who bully you and make you feel like, you don't belong. And I've been there and I've experienced that a lot in my life, and it's okay. Like, you know, as I said, you know, you learn to love these people because they're the ones who need it the most, and you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So if you are being bullied, I would suggest, you know, definitely speak to your parents. If you're at school, speak to your tutors, or even at work. You know, it's not cool to bully people at work. They're humans at the end of the day, and you just don't know what's going on. You know, you have to reach out to these people. Sounds really difficult. I know it's difficult, but you know, they might just want someone to talk to, and if you can talk to them, you know, it might, you know, save their life. So really do take a kind of a different understanding to it. As I said, as a bully, it's easy to it's easy to hate, it's easy to be negative, it's easy to, you know, feel that way. Then as someone who's being bullied, it's easy to just feel the victim and not do anything about it. Don't fight back, because I'm a firm believer in fire. What's the saying? Fight fire with fire. It doesn't end well. And you know, I've been in those situations as well where I've stood up for myself and just have my head kicked in even more. So that didn't work either. So yeah, I think the biggest thing you can do is talk and try and reach out to this bully if there is someone who is bullying you. It might not work, but at least you try to be the bigger person and get to the bottom of the situation, try and resolve it. And that's the same with anything in life. You know, we just try and resolve situations, because there's tons of people out there who, you know, are in that mind frame, and they're the ones that need our help. Otherwise, they're going to continue to bully, and that unfortunately is going to lead to further implications. And you know, if we can spread the love and, you know, do more to help those who need it, then I guess, you know, that's what we need to do more of. And you know, it just starts with a simple message or reaching out to that person. You know, it takes a lot of courage to stand up to a bully and just ask, you know, what's wrong. They probably don't know themselves, and if it's still happening in adulthood, you know, which it does, you know, adults bullying adults, again, you know, you don't know what that person's going through, and it's important to try and understand and look at it from a different point of view, because it might just change your whole perception and maybe help that person. So yeah, it's definitely something that's coming out a lot more in the news and being public about kind of just social media and bullying anyway. And I think we just need to recognise that, I mean, I don't have any kids, but if you're a parent and you have kids, or if you're a young kid yourself, just be aware when you do go on social media, everyone has access to you. It sounds very strange, but all your children, and you know, what you post might prompt someone to start bullying you or picking on you or using whatever type of language to comment. And you know, that's the downside of social media, as we've said before, and you just got to understand that that could happen. And if it does, you know, you just got to either, I guess, ignore it or try and resolve, because otherwise it's not going to go away. Anyway, hope you've all had a wicked weekend, as I always say. And you know, you're sitting there and you're making your goals for the following week. For me, it's a bit of a less busy week, which is cool. But you know, still got my goals, still got all my personal training, and you know, I need to get back on my lift label stuff, just because I've just had a bit of a manic week, and yeah, just got to get back on it. So anyway, I will catch you tomorrow. Hope you have a good sleep, and I'll see you then. See yous.